When you leave Nicosia and take a trip across the island, you will find yourself in juniper forest almost immediately. At the point where the sea meets the land, the monastery of Apostolos Andreas rises like a mirage to greet you amidst the gentle tones of green. The monastery is located at the place known as the Cape of St. Andrew and is dedicated to the Apostle Andrew. It is a holy place where St. Andrew is still worshipped as the protector of travellers and workers of miracles. The Karpaz Peninsula is a protected area, now a national park, and is full of juniper forests. It is hardly surprising that the true owners of these forests are the donkeys of Cyprus. These Cyprian donkeys, which have their place in world literature, live their lives in freedom in this area of outstanding natural beauty. Long golden beaches line the south of this grain mantle where a number of endemic plants grow. These coasts have always provided shelter for the nesting sea turtles that come from hundreds of miles away to lay their eggs. Sea daffodils spring up everywhere on these untouched, unsullied virgin coast, and to be sure, this must be our most enchanting offering to visitors. When you move westwards, you can see the loveliness of the Karpaz village, which is the first inhabited area you come to. The church and mosque together form a harmony, conveying a peace transcending time. Then there are old village houses decorated with bougainvillea and inviting accommodation. If you descend the north coast of this Karpaz village, you will begin a journey in history accompanied to the sound of waves, with the inspiring sea view of the church of Aios Philion. The Basilica of Aios Trias in the village of Sipai is another valuable ruin in the Karpaz Peninsula. The most arresting remains of the basilica still extant today are the floor mosaics. Made of vividly coloured stones, they describe in loving detail a number of objects such as geometric designs, foliage, and Christian symbols. The styles of these mosaics is that of the mosaic masters of the Eastern Mediterranean, who originally had their centre in Antakya, and they date back to prior to 535 AD. When you leave the Karpaz Peninsula and come to Boğaz, you discover the tranquility of a small fishing port. In other words, it is the second address of fresh fish. If you change your direction westwards from your coastal journey, you might choose to visit the wonders of the Icon Museum, located in the centre of Iskele. The museum is outstanding, displaying some of the oldest icons in Cyprus. There are both icons and frescoes in the building, which was once used as a church, and their quality is such that you will not find anything like them in any other part of the world. Your journey to the historical city of Famagusta may be interrupted by a visit to the ancient port city of Salamis. Part of Salamis lies under the sea. The magnificent columns of the city, which stand at sea level, have impressed travellers from the time immemorial. The city of Salamis started as a settlement in the beginning of 11 BC and became one of the most important cities of Cyprus in antiquity. There are remains of a gymnasium, a street with a column, a later basilica, an amphitheatre and Roman baths in what was once a magnificent and wealthy city. St. Barnabas Church and Monastery is located on a flat area between the city of Famagusta and the ancient city of Salamis, which is to say that it is on the far west of the necropolis at Salamis. St. Barnabas was born in Salamis to a Jewish family. After he was educated in Jerusalem, he tried to spread Christianity in Cyprus. However, he ended up martyred by his fellow citizens. The Emperor Zeno declared the independence of the Church of Cyprus 432 years after St. Barnabas's death, and even donated money for a monastery to be built there. The church was built in 477 AD, and today you will find several icons, frescoes, and many precious artifacts displayed in the church. Famagusta is a port city in northern Cyprus and has been listed as a World Heritage Site. The old city, which has a rich past, is surrounded by thick walls, and a number of civilizations successfully dominated in the city. The Othello Castle, which was the main venue of the famous tragedy written by William Shakespeare, was built during the Venetian period and is located within the walls of Famagusta. This is a city in which you will find many historical features cluttered together, created hundreds of years ago. With the Lusinian High Gothic architecture and magnificent stone masonry and the intriguing structure of the ramparts, the city of Famagusta is surely a very special place. St. Nicholas Cathedral is a jewel of the old city and is a unique building in the Far East, built between 1298 and 1312. The cathedral is one of the splendid examples of High Gothic art, and it was where the Lusinian kings were crowned kings of Jerusalem. During the Ottoman period, it was converted to a mosque with the addition of a minaret. On the west side of the cathedral, you can see the two-floor dungeon of the Turkish poet Namık Kemal. The dungeon was built during the Ottoman period on the remains of the Venetian palace using the same masonry. The Ottoman poet Namık Kemal was exiled to Cyprus for 38 months and lived in this dungeon. Today the dungeon is used as a museum. As the crows fly north from Famagusta, you will find one of the highest points of the Kıbrıs mountain range. This is Kantara Castle. Here it is possible to see both the north and east coast at the same time. The castle, which was built not only for defensive purposes but also for maintaining the passes in the east of the mountain range, has defied the centuries. Kantara Castle, built 700 meters above sea level on smooth rock, has a bird's eye view of the plains to the south. It is said to have been built in the 10th century for observation purposes. Studies indicate that the castle was used until 1525, by which time the Venetians did not consider the defensive function of the castle necessary and abandoned to its fate. Our journey continues along the north coast of the island, enabling you to enjoy the untouched coast and deep blue sea. Along the way, there is another place to bear in mind. Antiphonitis, the small church lying in the foothills of the Kıbrıs range parallel to the coastline. Antiphonitis means the responding Christ. The church nestles in a valley and was the core of an important abbey. This church is one of the finest architectural examples in Cyprus remaining today. The inside walls are covered with frescoes from two distinctive periods. The earlier were painted between the 12th and 13th century, and later between the 14th and 15th century. Most of the frescoes depict scenes from the Bible, such as, for example, the baptism of Jesus Christ, and there are also numerous frescoes of saints, the Virgin Mary, Saint Simon Stylites, Saint Peter, and many others. On the way towards the west in northern Cyprus, there is another Crusader castle, Buffavento. The castle was built on one of the highest points of the Kıbrıs mountain range, and its situation is stunning.